Good morning and thanks for joining us. I'm Veronica Miller and this is Goodwill, Minnesota's Good News, where we share with you the good that is happening in our community. And there is a lot of good, And it's going to be hard to put a lot of good in a half an hour, but we're going to do it. But first, I want to remind you, every time you donate or shop at Goodwill, you are changing lives through the power of work. And we have some great things that are happening that I wanted to share with you, including we had a store in Laurel and we turned it into a clearance center. Well, we heard you. Everyone wanted the primary store to come back. So yes, on May 26th, we will re-grand open a brand new primary store. This is going to be a fabulous, fabulous new store that I hope you come out. But yes, Thursday, May 26th. So a few days before, we're going to close it, get more inventory in, and yes, so I hope to see you on the 26th. And also, we have two events that are coming up. Speaking of fashion, which we're going to talk about later on, the first, we are having Salute the Runway. And this is going to be on June 16th. Very exciting. We have a dozen fabulous veteran females that will be coming. So you're going to see them in their uniform and then transform into beautiful evening gowns from Goodwill. So I hope you come out. It's very reasonable, just $75 for dinner and the fashion show, but also to hear stories about how they took their experience from being a warrior to a woman.
Wow.
Oh, it's very exciting. I can't wait. And then another fabulous fashion show that's coming up is the Little Black Dress with Pop. Now this we're taking, last year we started a promotion with the Girl Scouts, and we had the Girl Scouts dress the women, the models. Well, this year we're working with the Junior League of Sarasota, so the Girl Scouts are going to go to Goodwill, sure, get their black sheath dresses, but also they're going to reduce, reuse, recycle, and put some pop into their black dress. So it's not just going to be black, it'll have some color. And again, the Junior League of Sarasota will be modeling as well as mentoring them during the entire time.
Oh, that's outstanding.
So isn't that great? I'm so excited. So I hope to see you there. That is July 22nd. All this information that I just said is on experiencegoodwill.org. Now we have two fabulous guests. I can't wait. We will be talking with Juliana, I love this name, Musheyev. Nailed it.
Yeah.
Juliana is the project manager for Scope. And then we're going to be talking to Sharon Stewart, who is the owner of First Impression Image Consulting. So I was very nervous trying to dress for today
You look
when
fabulous.
I have an image consultant coming on.
You look fabulous.
And it just so happened that
We're in orange.
Yeah, well, you know, your furniture looks great from the front window. Anyway, so I knew what you were going to wear. No, I'm kidding. So let's start with Juliana. What is Scope?
So SCOPE is a local nonprofit. It stands for Sarasota County Openly Plans for Excellence. And it's been around for a while. And what we do is we focus on data and community engagement. Many people don't know how accessible the data in our community is about our community, so we gather data from the census, from different state departments, and we make it very accessible to people so that it could be used in decision making, it could be used in policy making. And we do this through dashboards, through data visualization, through our community report card, which I always bring a copy with me wherever I go. And then the community engagement piece of it, which we do through our community engagement workshops called roadshows. We go out into the community, we present on the data, and then we ask some invoking questions, thought-provoking questions. How can you change this? What does this make you feel like doing? And then we also do primary data collection. So we go out and we survey people. We're doing a survey on the transportation needs of seniors that we're starting. Actually, the distribution is starting officially today.
That's outstanding.
Yeah.
That is much needed.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
much needed.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about Scope, because they are dissecting the needs of the community into the report card and really grading ourselves. Like, what do we need to be focusing on? What can we do better?
Yeah, it really does provide a direction for people, because otherwise you really don't know what the focus areas are in your community. Like, I wouldn't have guessed a lot of the things that are, you know, maybe need a little bit fixing in our community, because I live in a house in a neighborhood and I'm not in contact with all these people all the time. So data is very valuable and needed for
Everything.
moving forward. Yeah.
But all the
exactly.
sectors, it sounds like that you're covering, I mean, there's quite a balance there.
Yeah, I mean, they all intersect with one another. So we have 9 domains of well-being, and it ranges from education to civic engagement to health, and they're all related, but it's important to showcase all of them because they all are related. You don't want to just have data on one thing or another. You want to see how we're doing in each of these various domains of well-being.
That's so valuable to new people thinking about bringing business to this community. I mean, what a wonderful resource
Exactly.
right there with
Yeah.
all that data that they could use,
Yeah,
you know, to
it's
project.
funny. I'm looking at the front and it says something about vote. And you're right, like even to go to vote, what's the transportation that
That's
you're
an
going?
issue,
Right.
yeah, for seniors.
Yeah, that's a
A lot.
big issue, yeah. So one of the things we're surveying about is what are the destinations that you need to get to, and how easy or difficult is it to get to your destinations? Because even if it's, you might visit your friends more often if you had access to transportation. Well, that's a big deal when you get older. You can't be socially isolated like that. Social isolation is one of the biggest issues in old age, and transportation exacerbates that. So there's a lot of different things intersecting with particularly the transportation issue.
Now, not just for older people, but indigent. I mean, those that have disabilities.
Right.
You're dependent, and you know what services are there. I know we have some, but how can we make it better?
Exactly, exactly.
So, what other interesting findings?
So in the report card, so we have a lot of some of the most surprising things, because we go out in the road shows and we ask people, you know, what was the most surprising to you? A lot of the education data is surprising. If we compare by socioeconomic status, if we compare by race, it looks like there's still those gaps, and that's something that actually we started addressing with the
That's critical.
campaign for grade level reading.
Yeah.
We looked at suicide. I don't want to get too morbid, but in terms of what surprised people, well, there's a higher rate of suicide in Sarasota County because the age range with the highest rate is actually very old, 85 and over white males, and so that might have something to do with the social isolation. So those are, but there's also a lot of really good news, because this is the good
Yes,
news
right.
show.
Thank you. Please.
Yes. So that's, I mean, so
But that's a fact that
Yeah,
you're
I mean,
telling
yeah.
us, yes.
In terms of surprising things, a lot of people were surprised about the amount of parks we have and how they've increased twofold. And John McCarthy, the executive director of Scope, had a little bit to do with it, but we have a lot of public parks here. We have great air quality here. We have great water quality here. So there's a lot of good news that surprised people as well. But it allows people to see and really get to know their community in a way that they wouldn't have been able to.
I love that. And we're working with Scope. They were wonderful. We put together a study for finding out jobs, and it's called the State of Employment. Who in our community, we're talking about companies, are hiring people with disabilities or veterans?
Oh, that's one.
And we wanted to know, because who's doing it right? And we want to showcase those that are doing it right. John McCarthy from Scope turned around and said, I want to take this data and cover it over the next few years to see if there is an improvement. So including it into their scope. I love that. But that's brilliant, because we want to see what we're doing right and how to make it better.
But what a foundation to start from,
Yeah.
a basis.
Yeah.
And then as long as there's follow-up to make sure that the bar is getting raised every
Exactly.
time that you follow up.
Yeah.
But it's a much needed thing for this community.
Yeah, and so yeah, one of the resources that we're providing on our new website is a dashboard where you can track different indicators. You can see how it was 10 years ago. You can see how it's grown or how it's decreased. We do infographics. We did an infographic for Goodwill.
You did an infographic. You are amazing. On the screen right now.
Oh, yes.
Now, our study was, I think it was like 200 pages. So for her to be able to take that information and put it into an infographic so it's easily understandable and easily to read.
Right.
So I mean, this
It
is what
seems like
happened.
you can process
they
it.
took
Yeah.
it,
Yeah.
and I came into Scope because I said, "Oh, we want to show you something." Literally, I was blown away.
That's
Just to
amazing.
be able to do this, because now, for those who were very intimidated and said, "Oh, I don't want to read this 200
It's a
page
lot.
document," can easily look at this and say, "Okay, now I know what I need to focus on doing better." And I, again, love it.
Yeah, I mean,
You're very creative.
Thank you. And I mean, we've done several infographics. Some of them I've done. Some of them Leah Duncan, the other research person at Scope, has done. It really is a part of what we do because we want people to know about their community and not have to read 200-page documents. You know,
Right.
so it's really why we're here.
If they can process it, they can get something done.
Right.
You know,
Exactly.
if you can't process it and digest all that information,
can't
sometimes
take
it's
action.
a stumbling block. You can't, you know, you can't move forward with it.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm impressed.
Love it. Love it.
Thank you. Thank you.
So what else is Scope focusing on?
We just had an exciting development. We are going to be focusing more on health. We're also going to be focusing more on sustainability. The sustainability piece, we're starting our new sustainability roadshows, where we're going to go out and be like, well, where is the status of the community in terms of sustainability? What kinds of things are going on that you can be involved in? Because we also want to start getting people involved in
That's
action.
really important to the
Oh, yeah.
social piece.
Yeah, exactly. So we're going to be doing our sustainability roadshows. You'll be hearing about them soon if you look on our website or if you like our Facebook page. We are also updating the Sarasota County Green Map. Green Map is a way for you to see where all the locations are in your community that are sustainable. So we're doing a map called Visit Green Sarasota. If you're a tourist and you're visiting Sarasota and you want to know how can I have a sustainable vacation, you can go to the map. It'll show you the restaurants that serve local food. It'll show you where the farmers markets are. So we're getting more into the sustainability piece. And then the health thing is really, really new, and I don't even know if I should be talking about it, but it's very exciting. We're going to be starting to work with a few community partners to develop a way to look at health disparities more easily so that they can be addressed.
Much needed. That's
Totally
awesome.
needed.
And we're working with a national organization to do that. So it's really exciting.
Very exciting.
So a lot of cool things happening at Scope. I'm really happy about it.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
So back to the sustainability, because when I hear sustainability, I think of environment. Is that?
It's not only environment. Environment is obviously a huge part of it, but it's also economic. Like, how can a community be sustainable when some people in the community don't have a home, or when they don't have enough money to survive? So that's all part of sustainability. So it's about integrating our built environment, our economic environment, our natural environment, and they're all intertwined in a sustainable way for the entire community. Environment's a huge part of that. And I think a lot of the time, the unsustainable way that people approach problems is that they don't pay attention to environment and only pay attention to the other things. So sustainability is really across the board about the well-being of the community.
Very exciting.
When you take all those factors and bust it out demographically, that's really got to be a bright picture for you to see, to focus on, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
Because the various zip codes probably command certain attention, right?
Yeah. I mean, Sarasota is very economically diverse, racially diverse, so it's not enough to have the county level and kind of see what's happening. You need to go neighborhood by neighborhood, or economic status, or school, and that's really how we drill down to what needs to be done and who needs to be targeted.
That's why it'll get done.
Yeah. So your website, so people can keep up to date with
Okay,
Scope.
we're really excited about this. ScopeSarasota.org. We just came out with our new website. It has all the data on it. It has all our infographics on it. It has ways to get involved. It's colorful. We really love it, and we'd love for people to check it out. There's an interactive way to explore the data, so it should be fun.
Excellent. Well, I'm so glad you joined us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Hey, and now the intimidation part. Okay, so it is. Sharon Stewart, who is an image consultant, first impression image consultant owner, but also working with Goodwill, and I'm very excited. So talk about what you do.
I was, for many, many years, in the corporate world. And when I started out at a very young age, I had the privilege of working for Helena Rubinstein in New York Cosmetics. And I was 20 years old. I had the most fabulous territory in the world, North and South Dakota, Wyoming, and Nebraska.
There you go.
How's that for the cream of the
Yeah.
crop, right? But what I learned at such an early age was when they brought me into New York, Mila Rubinstein, the niece of Madame Rubinstein, was running the company. They had these wonderful, mature women that they had as sales advisors, and they had very few men out on the road. And I was one of, there were like 50 of us out on the road, and I think there were 2 women. And what I saw was, at any age, you can be beautiful, and at any age, you can have style. And that resonated in my brain. It just stayed with me. And so to rewind, I was out on the road, I met my husband, we moved to South Bend, Indiana. I was the welcome wagon hostess, welcome wagon, knocking on doors and welcoming new people. And I went to congratulate LS Ayres for opening up these department stores. And they asked me if I wanted a job as the fashion manager, and I was shocked. I had these 2 small babies. I took the job, and I learned what image was about, to build an image and brand an image for a big company like LS Ayres. We were in a very conservative community, rah-rah Notre Dame, right? And the buyers weren't really sure what kind of influence, that was going to be mandated by the women of the community to them for their needs. So during that process, and I was with them 11 years, the last of the original managers with these 2 small babies, I really learned a lot about image and style. And that along with age is irrelevant, with style and image, and then also about the personalities of dressing, because there's 7 personalities for dressing. And some people think that today, right, well, we're not always right, it's something that we happen to wear today. But you can combine these personalities, these fashion personalities. You can't put yourself out there anymore and say, I'm a classic and wear all one name brand. I think that fashion to me is constant, but it's dictated, and it comes and goes. But style is personal. Style is individual, and style will always be here. And when I retired, after 3 weeks, some people said, that was a vacation, Stewart. And
That's not a vacation. I love it.
I thought about all of my skills that I had used in the past, and my climb to the corporate ladder, corporate world, in a very conservative industry, insurance, to be the first female director and first female of a lot of things. I thought back, how did I get there? Was I the smartest one on the block? And the answer was no, but I was the one that looked the part. And I think if you project what you feel internally, externally, our visual image is the first 10 seconds of the way we communicate. When you see someone, like when I met you, the first 10 seconds, I had formed an impression. You're a lovely young lady. and I
With
think
awesome hair.
yeah,
Awesome hair.
and brain, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Beauties and brain.
Oh my.
Very talented.
But I wanted to do something that would allow me to use those skills that I had used along the way to the climb. So I thought about image, and I thought image matters. It matters to Goodwill. What you project out there is amazing. What you do for people is amazing. It matters to Scope. It matters to this TV station. And it matters to all those people that I style individually, because it's taking ownership of something and branding it. But when you do that, as you know, being an executive for Goodwill, and as you know, in your climb with Scope, you have to be consistent with your image. You can't one day provide good service, and then the next day sales fall, and then you start from square one again. With Scope, you're constant reinventing something. So I started out with the one-on-one. And what I basically do, part of the time, the other part of the time I work with corporations is I work with women, and I want to make sure that your wardrobe is balanced. So many of us have so many things in our closet. We're all on the fly. We're all busy women. And the last thing that we want to think about is, what am I going to wear to work today? And so if it's pre-planned and it's thought out, and you're able to choose what you have currently and not go out and buy more things to let tags hang in your closet, it's going to start your day off in a positive fashion where you have control the whole day. If you feel good about yourself, you're in complete control. If you feel like you're having a bad hair day, if you feel like you wore the wrong outfit or you snagged something, you know, your demeanor starts to slow down a little bit. So I take a look at someone's closet. I have a work piece that I work with. And with Valerie, I would find out, how does she need to wear her clothes? What part of her day is business power up? Because she's a very important executive in this community. You have a lot on your plate.
Oh, Veronica.
Veronica, I'm so sorry. Oh, my
I
mind.
get Virginia.
Yeah.
I get everything. But go ahead.
When you walk into a room, you've got to take ownership of that room. And so if she is a business power-up meeting, I would pull pieces that were for business power-up. I'd pull the top, the bottom, the accessories, the belt, the earrings, and then we would create an app on our iPhone called Business Power-Up. And then if it's a casual business meeting, we would do this new smart business casual. And then we would create another app on her iPhone. And I would take her wardrobe, and we could take pieces that she would normally wear for all the evening functions that she goes to. You could switch them out and mix those 7 personalities and blend it into a style that's unique to Veronica. And so I have styled women from age 18 to age 90. And the 90-year-old wanted to look fabulous when she went down to dinner at the assisted living place. And I thought that was so cool. Is that not
Hey,
cool? Yeah.
It's all about self-image.
It is. And age doesn't matter. Age is irrelevant. I style women from size 2 to size 22. And it doesn't matter. You know what matters? That it fits. If it fits and they feel internally good about themselves, it's going to be very easy to project it externally. So when I help balance their wardrobe to make it more wearable, more functionable, and also to be more consistent, it saves them money. It saves them time in the morning. I have a very busy executive that has 4 teenagers, and powerful job, and she's thinking about, did I give them the lunch money? You know, did I sign that form? What time do I have to pick up Susie? And she's not thinking about, when I walk in that room, I have to take that room over. I have to bring it back to me when I walk in. And so I created all these apps for her. She gets up in the morning, she doesn't even think about what she's going to wear anymore. She takes her app out, click, click, this is the outfit that we found, and out the door she goes, and she's done for the day. And I think that when I follow back up with these women, because it's one thing to get your hair done once, and you put the makeup on, and then you feel good and you look good, but you let it go. If you're constant every day with your own self-perception of yourself, how you want to project yourself to your peers, to your employees, and to both of you, to the community. You're always out there in the community. You have to be able to take control of your wardrobe and get it to where it works for you, it's balanced for you. And I styled a lovely lady. She was more mature, had a large executive job, made a lot of money, wonderful lady, lost her job. Had so much class to handle, you know, going from here to an income to here. It's hard to get yourself out there and find something like that. We took about 3 hours to style her. I got a phone call about 3 weeks later. Sharon, I had that job interview. They told me they liked my sense of style. And then she called me back. She got the job.
See, it exudes from your outer image to your inner self-worth.
Oh, if you could follow me around in a closet and when I'm doing a wardrobe consultation and you see that smile on a woman's face. You know, in the corporate world, when you land something big and you're working on big projects, you know how you feel good about yourself? It's that smile that when I flip them around and they really project out that, you know, I'm beautiful, I'm a good person, I can do this, I have self-worth. It makes me feel like I did the right thing.
Well, we're very excited also to be working with Sharon, who will be coming to the Goodwill stores. And for more information on where Sharon will be coming, please go to experiencegoodwill.org. And we're going to be doing some lunch and learn. So you're going to talk about everything, those 7
Personality.
personality of your image. And then also one lucky person from the lunch and learn, or right after work we're going to have a social too, and you're going to be doing the same presentation. One lucky person will walk around with Sharon in the Goodwill store and she'll help pull things out, and you also get a $25 gift certificate to hopefully purchase those outfits. I was a recipient. You wrote an article about me and took me throughout Goodwill, and it's funny because the stuff that she picked out, I'm like, oh no, I'm not going to look good. And I put it on, I'm like, bam, look at this.
We couldn't get it off.
I know.
You looked fabulous.
So it is. I mean, it's always nice to have someone who knows image consulting, but also to take you to say, hey, your coloring, this would look good, or your shape, maybe you want to, you know, accent this or hide that. I loved it. It was perfect.
You were, you know what, you're such a stylish lady. And so it was an honor for me to do that. And I was intimidated.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh,
because,
wow.
I mean, they are in a unique position. They have one-of-a-kind pieces. So I call them one-of-a-kind statement pieces. Because on the right person and the right body, that wonderful one-of-a-kind piece can make a statement.
That's right.
And so when you have another eye taking a look at something, I just thought, you look like your icon,
Oh,
Audrey
so
Hepburn.
Oh, I love her. But she took a shirt and she goes, okay, turn it around. What? Like, why would I turn around this shirt? But it did. It fit differently on me, and it was great. I loved it. I loved
wow,
it.
I never
Gave her
would've
a
thought
longer
that.
line.
Yes.
And then we framed this beautiful jewelry,
Bam,
that
jewelry.
beautiful
love it.
gold scarf.
Oh, yes. I mean, everything. I was just like, can I buy everything? They're like, no. Anyway, so definitely, I hope you go to experiencegoodwill.org, check out when Sharon will be at the Goodwill stores and which location, and sign up, because we're going to restrict it to about 25 people per workshop, so make sure you go on now. And thank you so much for coming and talk to us about Scope. ScopeSarasota.org. Check out the more information, and I hope we shared some good information with you. I know I learned a lot, and now I know my coloring, and we didn't plan this, by the way. So anyway, thank you again for joining us, and I hope you enjoy your Sunday. Be well.